Ricky, man, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, brother. It was so awesome seeing you. Gosh, it's been like a month at Cleaning and
Yeah.
Cocktails. Freaking phenomenal event, dude. Thanks for having me there. But welcome to the Six Figure Cleaner podcast, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, man, happy to be here, man. I like being on the other side. This is good. I like this.
I know, hey, you get a little bit of both, man, because you're getting like all these podcast opportunities, speaking opportunities, but then you're still bringing people on and being the guy asking the questions. So
Oh,
I love
I
what you're
enjoy
doing
it.
with the industry, man. It's so cool. Hey, and just to kicking this off, dude, just to tell you this, I know I've said this to you before in person, but just to say it recorded as well, like you have done so much for commercial cleaning industry, making it something people be proud to be a part of. You guys live, I mean, just it's not just you, it's like your whole team. Like I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, man, I know all of these people that I had never met until I met them. But I'm like, man, I know Julian, I know Dom and Big Dom, and Tony and Ricky, and like there's this big group of people. And so it's so cool what you guys have done. So thanks for doing that, for being honestly a leader in the industry, and that's made it honestly made it a better industry to be a part of. You've helped my company grow just by setting an example of going after it and being proud of it. So
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
yeah, bro. So, hey, so let's dive into it. So we know that this is Six Figure Cleaner podcast. So this is, we're going to talk about helping people get to six figures. People think, becoming Josh the janitor is probably not the fastest path to get six-figure incomes, but people and, making a ton of money doing what it is we're doing. And so that's who we're talking to, man, is those people who are like, they want to get to where they're making, personal six-figure income or owner benefit from their commercial cleaning companies. So let's dive into your story some. And I also want to, as I'm saying that too, there are so many podcast episodes with your story out there. We're going to get the surface of it. I'm going to say, hey, you guys go to the Route channel on YouTube. Ken Carfagno's got a great interview with Ricky that's on there. And then also in Ken's podcast, Smart Cleaning School podcast, a bunch of other places too, but they can get like the long story, Ricky Regalado story. But let's talk about, dude, some of the things you've been in. Drop us real quick, Ricky, whatever you want to share in regards to like how long you've been in business, kind of revenue you guys are doing, and then like how many employees you guys have. What's Regalado and all the stuff you guys do look like right now?
Yeah. So I've been in the industry, Josh, for 10 years. I always like to say, we started in 2012. So actually going on 11 years, but 2015 was when Regalado was born. And why I say that is, I had a franchise the first 3 years. Then we did the right thing, sold it back because we wanted to build a brand. So I've been in the industry for 11, but Regalado itself has been up and running for about 8 years now. And this year, from janitorial and maintenance being as one, because we do both sides of the service, we're on pace to do a little bit over 20 million, but our numbers last year, we did about 16.8. That was our 60.8 million.
What's the split look like for you guys between doing contracting stuff? As you're talking about this too, man, that's one of the things we're actually starting to look at doing, just very light stuff. So not like going out and building a building or anything, but doing some more of the light or, the patchwork type stuff for some of our clients. But from the split for you guys between contracting and janitorial, what's that look like?
I think we're probably like 11.5, like 10.6, 11.5 in the range. So 11 being the janitorial side, 4.5 being the maintenance side.
Dude, that's absolutely
it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Like I would tell you, launch somewhat of a handyman service, for anybody who's listening, but not you yourself. Like find the right partner and an operator to lead that charge, because these are two very different businesses and processes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, man. You're talking about two different businesses and processes, but you have that shared clientele, right? And like they got all these things that they need somebody to do. So you can figure out what you guys have done. You're doing, a lot of revenue in both of those. I think that's awesome, man. So thanks for setting a trend there too. And then Ricky, as far as in like the employee count, which I love asking this question in the janitorial space, because it's always like, dude, it changes every week, right? Roughly, what do you guys have at Regalado?
No, yeah. So Regalado side, like W2, our own employee, we're probably like 225 to 250. You're right. It's always, coming and going. We're about to hire probably 65 employees in the next 30, 60 days. But I like to always say we're about 700 strong though, team members. And I say that because, I do a lot of subcontracting. I have a lot of affiliate partners, and we like to count them and their teams as part of the team, right? Yeah. Not employees, but just part of the team. So whenever I hear that question now, I've liked to pivot it and just, we're like 700 strong, man, across the country, because their people are our people. We're one big team.
Man, I love that too. So I'd done this one time earlier in my career where we took on, like, we were a subcontractor for a company that was doing some bank cleaning here in Georgia. And dude, they sucked. They were terrible. They were awful. And we ended up firing them. Hey man, we got to move on. But full disclosure here, like Athens Cleaning Company, my company is doing some subcontracted stuff for you guys here in Georgia and South Carolina, which is pretty cool. So, and you guys have been, it's night and day difference between the other people we did business with. Like, y'all have been phenomenal to deal
Yeah.
with. So yeah, you guys are
Thank
listening,
you.
man. Y'all stay in touch with Ricky and Regalado, because there are some opportunities for those guys to partner up, and they're a dream to work with. So that's, and I love how we've talked about this before, man. Like what you're doing, you're not like building an employee force or even really, man, just building a team. I'm like, Ricky Regalado is building community. And so I love when you talk about 700 strong. Hey, it ain't just strong, right? You're like, you're always saying it's stronger together, baby. So
Hell yeah. Hell
I
yeah.
love it. Hey, all right. So I'm going to ask you this question, Rick. When you started and then now, what was the ideal client when Regalado started? What the ideal client look like you guys were trying to pick up then? And then what does it look like now for you guys?
Yeah. Dude, that's a great question. In the beginning, any client was a client, but I started to identify, like, we liked restaurants because they were high figure dollars. Those became tough, but in the beginning, it really was commercial office buildings. Like we had this big vision of, we're going to go after all these big 4, 5, 6 story office buildings. That's now changed to, as we are current today. Like I told you, we like to span across the country. We love multi-location under 20,000 square feet is an ideal client for us. But then also comes medical office buildings. So I would say I answer that with 2 medical office buildings for the larger footprint, and then the multi-location, like under 20,000 square feet, is those are our two go-tos.
Love that. So here, just my 2 cents here. I'm just trying to understand. Is it for the multi-location, like across the country and stuff like that, or across different larger regions? Are you trying to stay under 20,000 square feet there so that you can sub that out to some smaller mom and pops? Is that kind of what you're looking for?
Yep. Because it's easier for me to say, hey, Josh in Athens, we got 7 locations coming your way. They're about 10,000 square feet, one person, 4 or 5 hours a night. You could take that on and manage it versus me saying, hey, here's 10, 100,000 square foot buildings. Good luck. You're going to be like, oh, you're going to bankrupt me. Like, what do you mean? How can I just take? So that's why we like those 2, because I enjoy doing affiliate partners and subcontracting because I love, giving the small guy the opportunity. The other ones are more like self-perform. Those would be our go-to. Regalado is cleaning those accounts, larger ones.
Yeah, man. And speaking of that too, so for what we've done for you guys is, 3 smaller offices. They're probably like 2,000 square feet.
You got
super quick.
You got 26 more coming. You got 26 more coming.
A lot coming our way, right?
Yeah.
But it's been cool to see that. And walk me through just real quick, Rick, on the medical office building. So is that like urgent care centers? Is this hospitals? What is this specifically?
It is like an office building, but there are medical style office in there. So like a dental suite, a patient suite, some hospital type stuff. But think of those buildings that you see that's always next to a hospital.
Yeah.
If you guys ever look at hospitals, look next to them. There's always like an office park or something, right? Those are the buildings that we're starting to target, and we like, because they're more of a healthcare style clean. They care about us as cleaning contractors, to be honest. So the language, the pitch to them, the deck that we go over, what they're looking for in a contractor, it just matches our values and what we want for our team, and where to set them up for success.
And is there a certain size building you're looking for with those?
Yeah, I'd say anywhere from 50 to 100,000. Because anything bigger gets a little bit bigger. It can be done, but 50 to 100 could be a sweet spot. Like, good staffing, 3 to 4, maybe 5 full-time employees, and you can grasp that much more than the larger size. In my opinion, we're still small to medium size. So.
Gotcha. One of the things too, man, I love medical. Now I don't go after 50,000 square foot buildings, but we do, we're in the ballpark of 15 to 20,000 a lot. And one of the things I love about that, as far as people are always thinking like the budget, and everybody's got a budget, right? But man, like if these buildings, there's so much money running through it because the cost of healthcare is so freaking ridiculous, that a lot of times, a number that may look higher in a attorney's office in a medical office doesn't look quite as high because just the amount of revenue is just going through that place is
Correct.
ridiculous. So I'm with you there. Now, as far as in ideal team members, because this is the big thing people talk about in cleaning is like, how do you get people? How do I find people that I can trust and that are good and all these things? Has your ideal team member or ideal employee changed really from when you started to now?
I wouldn't say change, it's evolved, right?
Okay.
In the beginning, we were just looking for hardworking, but that is a very general statement, right?
Mhm.
Everybody's looking for a hard worker. We like the word like proactive, right? And
Okay.
we say, I swear sometimes. So like a get shit done type of person is like kind of who we're looking for. So
Yeah.
because it's mindset, man. It's the mentality. It's you're in it with us. You want to grow with us. So we don't really go after the people that want to do this part-time and they've got a full-time job. A lot of people do that, and that's okay, right? But for us, we want to show you that you can grow because we like to grow from within, right? We've gotten here based on instinct. We like our team members to come in for one position. Next thing you know, they're in another position because
Okay.
they've got that growth mentality.
Yeah, so I love that because I don't think many people are doing that where they're looking at, no, I want to find somebody and maybe they're starting as a cleaner, but we're doing growth oriented, curve here. Like, hey,
Oh yeah,
you're on the bottom rung of the ladder, but here's where the ladder goes. You want to climb or not? I
yeah,
love
man.
that, man. I think,
I would
yeah,
tell you, Josh, like I told you, we had some people here coming in. We just talked about this. One of the like my newest visions of the ideal role for a company, the front desk manager or the front desk office coordinator. And let me tell you why. They come in, like the last four we've had have come in and moved on to another position. We want that to be a revolving door. They come in, they're the first person everybody sees. They get to learn everything. Your supplier comes in, a new employee comes in, an applicant comes in, the team comes in. All these people are coming in. They're learning on a fast track about the cleaning industry at that spot in your office, and they're going to evolve.
yeah,
They've come to us every time and like, I could do more. I want to do this. I saw you guys working on this. I want to take that on. Like, for people listening, if you don't have a front desk office coordinator, create that role because that will be your door of entry for any positions that you're looking to grow from within.
man, I just hired that spot. Ricky, it's funny you're saying that. Office
Yeah,
manager, right? They come in, that person today it was out seeing clients. Like they're like, hey, I think I could go do that. I'm like, all right, well, go see
they're
them. So she's
yeah,
going out building relationships, taking gift baskets and stuff.
do
And
it.
it's crazy because I told our team, I'm like, she's not gonna be sitting at that desk all
Nah,
day.
the goal is like our last one. It was 2 months. He's already moved on to a new
Yeah,
position. Like
yeah, you're right. It's awesome. That's a lot of that said. That says a lot about your culture too. That you guys are growth oriented. So when somebody comes in, like you find a spot for them. And I know
Oh
you two.
yeah,
You're like, yeah, man, you think you're good at that? Go try it and let's see.
yeah.
And that probably has been the catalyst for all your growth. So I love that, man. That's awesome. All right, give me real quick. People always ask these questions too, as we're leveraging, trying to scale our business. We got to build the systems, and we're fortunate enough to have some phenomenal software tools we can use. Of course, you guys have one y'all created with Route.
Yeah.
I'm a user. I know you guys are using that. But what
Yeah.
are some of the other software tools that you guys are using in your cleaning business to help it scale and grow?
Yeah, man. So think of all the departments that you have. Like for sales, we use Route, right? For workforce management, we're using Swept. For accounting, we use QuickBooks, right? For my subcontracting, to manage and post contracts, I use Route Marketplace. And then Monday and Salesforce are the other two. Salesforce, for your clients, and then Monday for task management.
All right. I mean, right now I was talking to John Disselkamp recently. I was like, what CRM do you use? He's like, man, we're not really using one right now. I was like, me either, but I got to get one.
You
So
gotta
you
get
guys had a good experience with Salesforce on that?
Yeah, man. It is truly literally just for our customer accounts. Like
Yeah.
because even though Route and Swept, you could have there is some light CRM, it's still not as robust as Salesforce. So
Yeah.
Salesforce is we've grown accustomed to it and it integrates with a lot of different things.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right, man. That helps me out. All right, man. So again, I'm going to point people to y'all go to YouTube and go to, hey, what's the official name of the YouTube channel now? Is it Route TV?
Route TV.
Route TV. Y'all go to Route TV. There's one episode that you guys got to watch. Beautiful guy from Athens, Georgia's on there. Got the mug, but no, y'all check out Ricky's interview with Ken Garfagno. It's Ken interviewing Ricky. You'll get a bunch of the deep dive of Ricky's story. A bunch of numbers in that story too. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So y'all check that out on Ricky's channel or on Smart Cleaning School podcast. But Rick, let me ask you this question, man. So again, there's quote unquote income that's going to show up in your tax return. And then there's like owner benefits. So it's like, man, you might be paying for your car, paying your cell phone, paying some stuff through your company that if you didn't own that company, you'd be paying anyway. So
Yeah.
how long did it take you, Rick, to get to 6 figures of like kind of personal ownership benefit through your cleaning company?
I would say it was 2019, 20, like 19, 20. I forget exactly when, like it was like hovering over or close to, but yeah, only a couple years ago, man. I mean, I was stuck at like 70, 80 for a while.
Yeah. Well, and and saying that for you guys, man, y'all are like freaking full growth mode, growing like crazy, bringing people on. People can make a lot of money quick if they don't let, if they're the magic behind everything, doing everything. But if you're building something big, it might take a second. I love that though. So, all right. So you're in the bit, you were kind of rolling 4 or 5 years with Regalado before you hit that 6-figure mark personally.
Yeah.
Love it, dude. All right. Hey, when did you think it was a possibility for you? I know when you guys were like bouncing your credit card at gas stations, you're like, this is the ticket to freedom, baby.
I will tell you, when we started in 2012, it was even, I think 2016, I was like, babe, I got to do something. I got to do something else. Like I went to school, I got a degree. We can't be making 40,000, 50,000 a year. Like combined, we can't even crack 100. I'm like, I love you. And we're best friends and you want to get married. I'm like, I don't think this is going to happen. And it just, things started to really, we played the part, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm not as big in faith, but God's a big component of my mom and my grandmother and my family's life. And they always said, stay on the path. It's going to work out. You're just a good person. Things are going to work out. So I just stayed being good. And we are here. Stay positive. And the money will come.
That's awesome. Well, what I love, man, because I see it for you. I'm like, it's just the amount of money that's going to come your way because of all the good things that you have done and that you continue to do. Right. So I'm like, I think I'm one of these people. I'm like, hey, I think when God knows he can trust you, and then he gives you stuff that he can trust you with because he knows you'll do good things with it. You're doing good things with it. So it's probably just going to come your way, my friend. But that's awesome. And then as far as you guys, so you were doing pretty good amount of revenue when you were able to start, taking some for yourself from the 6-figure standpoint. You remember what kind of revenue you guys were doing annually at that point?
Yeah, I think we were at like 6. I think we were at like 7 million at that point. Right. Pretty sure.
Awesome. All right, man. This is one of my favorite questions, Rick, because gosh, if you've been doing it for a minute, even if you stay really small, you're going to have some of these. But to do what you guys have done in your business, you probably got some fun ones. But I call it 6-figure screw ups. This doesn't mean big financial mistakes. Honestly, man, it's just more so like, hey, what are some of the big mistakes or lessons you learn along the way? We're like, oh man, I should have done that differently. Not that it cost you a bunch of money. It might have cost you a lot of time, or it may just cause you to like lose some, lose face a little bit, lose some reputation. But man, give me an example of one of the biggest, challenges or screw ups that you had as you've been building Regalado.
So I could even give you 2. I'll give you many more, but like one big one, I'll say it towards the money part too, is again, I'm not the financial guy. My brother came in, thank God he is our CFO and we are rocking and rolling, but I was a very big top line guy. I thought top line sales was king. I win business. I can then take action, win business, do things. So I was buying a lot of vans. I was buying a lot of equipment. I would buy a lot of, just buy when I would win business. That's not good. Like there's, you got to look at the profit margin and do those kind of things. But so that was one thing, is I wasn't accurately purchasing the right way because I just banked on the top line sales. So that's one big mistake. I think early on, if you learn, it may take a little bit longer, but because I had the vision of vans in the field, I want my logos everywhere. I want uniforms everywhere. I was buying hundreds of shirts because I wanted to brand so much, but it was like, dude, slow down. You got to have money to do that too. So I learned that. Another big mistake that I had was delegation, man. Like, not that it cost me money, but it cost my time. Like I was very late to delegation. I wish I would have delegated more often. And number 2 of that part is documentation. So documenting and delegating, because I lost some time in the early years of the business ownership because I didn't do those things.
Oh yeah. And mental frustration you gain, right? You're just like, you're killing yourself doing these things you probably didn't want to do, probably weren't good at, but like, Yeah, holding on to. I think that's probably the story for most of us. Or I know I had some times, Ricky, where I was like too quick to delegate. I'm like, hey, here, like, I don't even know if what my job role is. I'm like, you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But at
yeah.
the same time, that was for me more on the documentation side, right? I'm like, I wasn't giving them enough. So those are great, man. I love those. I think those are pretty common for many of us. All right, man. Next one, 6-figure secrets. Let's talk about some lessons that you've learned along the way that helped you get to the point where, not only are you making, 6 figures benefit from your company, but I know for you, man, you see a lot bigger than that. So what's some of the secrets, Rick, that you learned along the way that helped you scale your business?
So, I mean, culture is a big thing for me, and I've embraced my family and my friends. I have a big friendship or a big network, so I really tapped into my network, man. But I first worked on my culture. I wanted to make it where our our company is somewhere you want to come to. You want to work here. We look the part, we feel the part, we sound the part. We're different. So starting to separate yourself from the rest and making it where people walk into your company and they want to be there. But at the same time, you're embracing the network. You're talking about what you're doing. So I always tell people, always be not just selling, but always be branding. Always be talking about your business. You want everybody to know that you are Josh the cleaner, Ricky the cleaner. You own a cleaning company. You do this, you do that. Like I storytelling is a part of my life. Networking is a part of my life. More people know so much about what I do because it came out of my own mouth versus a drip campaign or an ad. Like we do none of those. Not that they don't work, but our branding comes from ourselves and our networking that we do. It's that's one of my biggest recipes for success, man. To be honest.
Love it, man. And it's just fast. When I say I love it, Rick, I mean I love it, dude. My team is probably sick of hearing me talk about how much better the Regalado team looks than us. I'm like, man, we need some better freaking t-shirts around here, dude. Like you guys look so sharp. And I was telling you talking about the story too, just to give credibility to what you're saying, is the branding, the story, the kind of narrative that goes with your business so people to know who you are. I remember you telling this story and that has to do with your branding about going to these cleaning events. And you're like, y'all are known. I was like, oh, the guys with the black shirts, because y'all are showing up. And y'all's branding is on point, man. And y'all got
Yeah.
the best branding of any cleaning company I've ever seen. Y'all are like next level. I seriously, man, I think about it all the time. I'm like, all right, I'll see something y'all are wearing. I got to confess my sins of envy. When I see the
Yeah.
videos on Route TV, I'm like, man, I need some hats. These
We
guys
got
got like
some new
19
ones.
different hats.
We got some new ones coming too. We got some new
Oh, they're
ones
so
coming.
awesome. They're so awesome. I should have worn my Stronger Together hat today. That would have been on point, man. I forgot.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, I love it though, and the thing too, man, is saying what you're saying. So that first cleaning and cocktails I was able to attend was at your office, and man, like that the branding and culture piece is on point, up front, everywhere. You guys got core values written on the wall. You got team members, pictures of team members on the wall. You got the t-shirts. I mean, it's just so much of the stuff that goes with it. It is like walking into a story. It's so cool the way you guys have it. And in all seriousness too, like for us, I'm constantly looking at what y'all are doing to say, what can we learn from Regalado? What can we learn from them from a branding, from the culture piece that we can incorporate and pour into here? Because I know it works, man. And not only does it
Yeah.
work, Ricky, it's like it just feels good. It feels right. Like you're pouring into your folks at such a high level. So, and
Yeah.
the whole industry too. I mean, I
No,
said, man,
no.
Tony, I love them hats. Talking to Tony, he's like, dude, what's your address? I'll send you a hat. So I got my Stronger Together hat. All right,
Nice.
man. It's so cool to all do that. Let's get into this for a second. All right. So this is a good one too. So you started twice, right? You had a franchise and you're like, all right, we don't want to do it this way. So let's get rid of the franchise. Let's do it another way.
Mhm.
This is 6-figure strategies. If you're starting over, Ricky, and you're like, all right, I want to create a cleaning company. I want to start scaling it. And I want to get to where, I say 6 figures fast, but honestly, I don't mean like 6 figures fast in a crappy way. You can just go clean everything and make 6 figures if you want to.
Yeah.
But to build something that could scale, that could grow, that you're proud of, what type of strategies would you take and implement if you're starting today to develop a business that that you could make 6 figures like for decades from building that business?
So I'm typing some stuff here. I'm trying to calculate some because I remember I had a good answer for you on this one was the average contract size, Josh. Like you said it when we first started, even the second time, like we would take 1 day a week, 2 day a week accounts. Like I think you still have to do some of that to learn and educate yourself into the industry, but if I could do it all over again, and if you said, Rick, you're going to start another cleaning company tomorrow, right away, I would have thresholds, and I would say like our average contract size is going to be 2,400 a month, right? And then because I say that one because that number is going to get you to that six figure much quicker, and it's a good contract size. And then the amount of those contracts, you can then hire staff much quicker. So it's numbers driven, but that number 2,400 is a big one for me because I've done the math and I've gone back and forth, and it just ends up getting the results of you adding team members because nothing is going to happen. You're not going to get to six figures cleaning by yourself. You need a team. The only way you're going to get a team is if you find accounts that you can afford to hire good team members. So again, it comes back that number if you calculate it the right way. I won't do it here, but I'll give it to you so we could put it up somewhere, right? But like it's a very common number in my head that whenever it goes back to like, man, what is a good number? That one sticks out to me because the number of contracts to win is not substantial. And then the path to finding that first full-time employee is much quicker.
Yeah.
And then those are the two foundational pieces. Is you start stacking your team members because you can find the hours with that type of account. And then that type of account can get you to that six figure that much quicker.
Love it, man. Love it. All right, let me ask you this question. This is a follow-up question. And I learned this, man, I think I learned this, Ricky, in the elite BSC group that we're a part of, that mastermind group. But it was about a minimum price. So, hey, you as you grow, what you'll probably end up doing is you'll have like the lowest amount you'll take for a contract will continue to scale up. So maybe when you're beginning, it's like, man, $300 a month is like, you'll take it. But maybe over time, it's like, when I won't take less than 1,000 a month. I won't take less than 1,500 a month. Do you have a number that's like, if I was starting today, I wouldn't take less than this? And again, outside, we say starting today, maybe you take a couple of accounts for learning, but then it's like, all right, everything's got to be at least this amount or above. Is it 2,400 or is it something a little less than that?
No, I would. Okay. So 1,660 is what mine would have been.
Okay.
Cause at 20,000, like think about it, you get 5 of those 20,000 a year accounts. There's your first six figure of, cause it's a big deal to get 100,000 a year in business. Cause I'll tell you, you just heard me say that takes 5 accounts at 1,660 to get to 100,000. Josh, I had 40 something accounts when we first started and I was making 80,000 a year in business. So like, think about it. Again, 30 headaches, 40 headaches versus 6. Not saying they're always going to be headaches, but like just less to monitor, you can grow and control that much better than getting a lot of 300, 400, 600 accounts. So I'd say 1,660, cause 2,400 is just because of what I know today, but in the beginning, I would do 1,660.
All right. And just for if there's somebody listening right now, Ricky, and they're like, hey, they're brand new. They got 2 accounts that are $300, $900 a month, whatever. What might a $1,700 to $2,400 a month account look like? From a standpoint of how many cleans a week? I know there's variation here, but how many cleans a week? How big is the place? What type of?
So I would tell you, average square feet could be like 5,000 to 6,000. Think of even again, I'd say healthcare because that is where you can get it. But like if you see that clinic that's 4,000 or 5,000 square feet in a strip mall, 9 times out of 10, they're going to need 5 hours or 5 days a week cleaning. That 5-day a week cleaning for that kind of a size, you're probably there for 2-3 hours. So that is a foundational account for you because you get 2 of those, Josh. There's your first full-time employee, right? They're working 6 hours a night, 2 locations, 5 days a week. The margins are there for you to be able to pay for a full-time employee. And now that's your first opportunity. That first employee could potentially be a supervisor for you. And that's how you got to look at it. Like stack that, build that up. You get to another, 4 or 5 employees. One of them is going to be the supervisor. So then when you get to 6, 7, 8 employees, you need to have a supervisor, right? Because there's only so many hours that you as an owner can monitor. You're going to need help. So again, look at these accounts as not just revenue, but how quickly can they help you build a team? Because once your team is starting to get built, revenue falls in the door at the end of the day.
Man, love it, dude. The funny thing is when you're saying that, is it sounds like that's actually some of the, I'm assuming when you're looking at the ideal for Regalado today, when you're building out the affiliate network, multi-location under 20,000, I would think that there'd be a good number of those that may fall under that, like those types of properties.
No, yeah. And those are and again, if so we also bid when we're doing subcontracting, Josh, like we're bidding knowing like we need to pay our partner the money that we would even go in for an account. Like worst, like And if you're not doing that, you're pricing to just win any job. You're never going to be able to partner with anybody. You're never going to be able to find quality embedded contractors. So I say price as if you were the one who had to service this account. You could price a little less because something to learn, right? In the business is multi-location, you're going to need to be less because they're giving you more volume. So you got to be a little bit less in price. But yeah, that is my ideal, man. The 1,600 to like 2,400 range.
Dude, that is awesome. Love it. Love it. Ricky, man, I got to tell you, dude, number one, we're coming back on the show at some point in time. And I want to talk all about the subcontracting, the affiliate network, the opportunities that you're providing with what you guys are doing, opportunities for people to partner up to help them scale up to that six-figure, so they can be a six-figure cleaner, and they don't have to learn it all on their own, right? They can they can learn from Regalado and learn from Route and all this stuff you guys are doing, and even be able to help service some of those accounts that you guys are building. Again, that whole stronger together mentality. I love it. But dude, this interview, man, is like power packed full of like legit info. Somebody can take this and start applying piece by piece to start leveraging up their business, man. I freaking love it. It's awesome. Hey man, all right. So two questions for you to kind of like close this out. One is I want to know, specifically for the commercial cleaning entrepreneur out there that's trying to scale up to six figures, what's the book that you read along the way that you feel like, hey, this is one you can read? It could be one you read in the early days or one you read recently, but hey, you read this, it'll help you out. That's question one. Question two is just say your final remarks, man. If you're giving your stronger together speech here at the end to wrap us up, what would it be? So the book and then the final thoughts.
So I would say the book, The Gap in the Gain by Dan Sullivan, dude, like it starts to show you it's in the name, the gap in the gain of where you're working at, but as a business owner. So that's part of Strategic Coach for anybody who's listening. That's a great program to help you as a business owner, again, like create a system for you as an entrepreneur. But yeah, it's called The Gap in the Gain by Dan Sullivan. It's easy to read. You literally can finish it like in a 2-hour flight while you're on the plane. But it's a lot. It's got visuals. It's got points of start and finish of where you got to get to. Just a recent book I've read that is like, damn, where's this book been? I've read it years. I should have read it years earlier. But yeah, that one was a good one.
All right, man. And then final thoughts for the six-figure cleaner out there, or for the six-figure cleaners in making, man. Just what inspirational thoughts or words could Ricky Regalado give those guys to continue to help them scale in their journey? Yeah,
man. So I would say you guys are if you're in the industry, if you're not in the industry, you're thinking about the industry, or you're struggling if you're struggling, you have people like Josh, people like me. We have big communities where we have a big network. This is a lonely industry if you allow it to be. So ask for help, get out there, network, right? Like literally right now, I told you, Josh, we've got 5 cleaning company owners from out of the state that are here right now talking shop with us, right? So don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that is one of the number one thing that people struggle with is they don't ask for help, or sometimes they don't even know what to ask for. So not knowing what to ask for right off the bat, that means that you need help. So open up, reach out. This is a lucrative industry. It's fragmented. So it is our goal. I know, Josh, we've told you, like, we want to change that and increase the amount of 6-figure, 7-figure cleaning company owners. And I don't like to say 6, 7, 8 figures all the time, but you build a 6, 7-figure company as an entrepreneur, that changes your life, right? You've got an opportunity to give back to the economy and also create jobs.
Absolutely.
And you can do that in the cleaning industry. It's low barrier to entry, but I would tell you, it's also low barrier to stay, because many companies fail and they get out the first year because they realize this shit's hard, right? You got to do the work yourself. Get past that first year, get past that second year, but know that it's going to be hard. Nothing is automated until you finally learn, in my opinion, to then be able to automate it. But I'd say this is a phenomenal industry. It's changing people's lives. It's changed my life, and it's here to stay. It's pandemic proof. It's recession proof. Dude, this if anything, people need more cleaning. So get ready.
Absolutely. Love it, dude. All right. You would never say this, so I'll say it for you. You guys got to check out 2 things. This is 2 investments you should make in your company as fast as you can. One is that you stay on know when the next cleaning and cocktails event is coming up. You guys, and seriously, best money I ever spent in the industry for me to learn was going to cleaning and cocktails, because I met a bunch of other people that had the exact same problems and challenges and successes in future that I had. And it was a great community building opportunity. I just felt so connected, man. It's a great job of you building that out. So you guys go to the next cleaning and cocktails live event. And number two, go to getroute.com right now. Check out Route. It will help you tremendously with pricing jobs the right way, which is always something people are challenged with. It's always a struggle. So y'all check out Route. Ricky and his team have helped develop that so that we can all do better, be more profitable, and honestly get to six-figure cleaner status faster. So Ricky, thanks, man, for all you do for the industry. Thanks for being with us today on the Six Figure Cleaner podcast, my friend.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.